A massive fire at a warehouse in Richmond continues to burn at this hour. Evacuation orders are in effect for these people who live a half a mile from this site. This all happening on Northwest F Street, and that's where we find our Karen Campbell there. She is live to bring us the very latest. Karen, what's the situation there?
Hey, Gina, we are just about 24 hours into this massive warehouse fire at this plastics recycling facility. You can see the smoke still billowing into the sky, and as of right now, their flames are still coming from this warehouse. We're told that this is about a 14-acre lot. Just to put that in perspective, if you think about a football field, that's a little more than 1 acre. So a massive fire going on here. Now, we decided to wear our masks today because health officials came out and they said it's not safe to breathe in this air, and that's why they have evacuated. Some 2,000 people have been ordered to evacuate the area for safety. If you live, within a half-mile radius of where this fire is happening. Right now, we know firefighters are now taking a new approach to this, using excavators today to gain access into that warehouse. If you remember, when the fire started shortly after 2:30 yesterday, Richmond Fire Chief Tim Brown said that firefighters only had one way in. These excavators will allow crews to gain more access inside. Now, another concern, Gina, you mentioned the toxicity. There are toxic compounds being released into the air. An EPA spokesperson tells us that the warehouse is old enough to have asbestos. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I understand people are finding debris. Some of the pictures look like they could be melted plastic. Some of the pictures look like they could be roofing material and so forth. So we're going to be collecting a number of samples today and sending it off for analysis. And in the meantime, we would ask that people certainly do not mow the debris. So if you are finding debris in your yard, leave it be until we know more information.
Now, we also asked officials if they had a running list of the types of plastics that were inside of this warehouse. They are still investigating that. Now, they did tell us that one of the toxins is listed as benzene. Now, that's something that can cause symptoms such as like dizziness, headache, and other symptoms. But again, officials are working to identify those plastics inside. Also, coming up in about 30 minutes, you're going to hear from Richmond Mayor Dave Snow. He's going to talk to us about different citations that he says the owner of this warehouse was given and why they are now labeling that owner as negligent. Gina.
All right. Thank you, Karen Campbell, reporting for us live in Richmond. Of course, we will have continuing coverage this hour and tonight on 13 News starting at 5 p.m. You can always find the very latest updates online because those details, they are developing minute by minute on WTHR.com or on the 13 News app. Yeah, nearly 14 acres of plastic into the air. And we were talking to the spokesperson for the health department, and as the news conference was going on, she said, like, I can feel these side effects. I have a sore throat. And so that wind is blowing, and the forecast really kind of playing a factor in that.
Yeah, because early morning, the wind is going to be at its lightest, and Sam was talking earlier today that they were starting to kind of smell some of this, and that's because the wind was dying down a bit and these particulates were staying much closer to the ground. I want to show you the wind, and we were getting some reports actually out of Columbus, Ohio, that they're seeing this plume and they're smelling a little bit of it too. But predominantly, it's going to be a west-southwest wind, so it's going to blow most of this over into west central Ohio here. Wind speeds, by the way, in the 15 to 20 mile per hour zone this afternoon. But notice on the wind forecast going into tomorrow morning, just like this morning, the wind is going to ease down, so that will allow that particulate matter to kind of sink toward the surface here, and a light variable wind in the morning. It's going to be a west-southwest wind for the bulk of today, 15 to 20, and elsewhere